Warm greetings, everybody. It has been a year in the making. It started over, well, 12 months ago, just about. And now the players are whittled down to 2 with, frankly, thousands that started. This is the championship match. It's Roger Federer of Switzerland, who has won 3 Grand Slams, and he takes on Lleyton Hewitt of Australia. This will be a best-of-3 set match. It was to be best-of-5, but the weather here has also been one of the players in this championship, unfortunately. And congratulations to this tournament, because they've handled it as well as they could under the circumstances. Hello, everybody. Cliff Drysdale alongside Patrick McEnroe. We have had the pleasure, Patrick, of seeing Roger Federer from the beginning of this year, and his genius has been evident all along.
It really has been just remarkable to see this guy play tennis. I tell you, to me, he's elevated the game to a whole nother level. This man, Lleyton Hewitt, will try to counter what Roger Federer does so well as the players make their way to this center court at the Westside Tennis Club. But you know, Hewitt is a nice story in and of itself, that he finished outside the top 15 last year, and now if he can win this match, he'll finish number 2 in the world. But that is a major if, because Roger Federer has been nothing short of just spectacular, not just in his results, Cliff, but in the way he's been playing this game and the way he's just been dismantling the best players in tennis throughout the year.
Just a couple of things about Federer as you look at Lleyton Hewitt. This is live coverage of him making his way to his seat in preparation for his encounter here with this man, world's #1. Roger Federer. Let's go now to some of the history of Federer's years, starting at the Australian.
Well, he came into the Australian Open, and he had won Wimbledon, and he'd won here at the Masters Cup. He wasn't #1 in the world at that point, by the way. Andy Roddick was the top seed, but Federer dispatched of Marat Safin, who had a great tournament down under in straight sets. I'd say, haven't we had some great finals this year? I mean, look at the list. When you look back and you see the matchups, you had Safin, Federer at the Australian. Then we went to the lawns of Wimbledon, and the magistry of Roger Federer. That's where it really shines, on the grass, where he can use all of his natural ability, his flair. Roddick really played him tough, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Federer wins his 2nd Wimbledon title in 4 sets. And not a bad little matchup in the U.S. Open final either, was it? As these 2 men, who we'll see in a few minutes, go at it, went at it. And this was, I mean, you want to talk about taking the game to just a whole nother level. Look at that angle from Federer. He won the 1st set, that's right, 6-love. 2nd set went to a tie break. Once Federer won that, well, he turned on the afterburners again, won another 6-love set. It was phenomenal stuff. And Federer, for the first time since Mats Wilander did it back in 1988, wins 3 majors in 1 year.
So Federer heads the champions race by a long way, as you can see. It's between Hewitt and Andy Roddick. If Hewitt wins today, as we've already said, he will overtake Andy Roddick and will be #2 for this year. One thing that needs to be said about this man is Roger Federer, first of all, is that he has won 22 straight matches against top players in the top 10, Patrick. He's won 16 straight matches going into this. He's only lost 6 matches all year, so he would obviously clearly be the favorite. Having said all of that about him, Lleyton Hewitt has played beautifully, played great in the semi-final, and he too has had a good year, including getting back to the final at the U.S. Open.
I think so, and I think he came into this tournament, Cliff, with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, look, it has been in some ways a 2-horse race this year. It's really been a 1-horse race, but certainly Roddick was in there at Wimbledon and having played well throughout the first half of the year. But Lleyton Hewitt, you know, this guy knows what it's like to win majors, and that's exactly what he did a couple of years ago against the great one himself, Pete Sampras, at the U.S. Open in 2001. Hewitt absolutely destroyed Sampras in straight sets to win the U.S. Open title. And then, of course, that was the first year that he finished #1. He won the Masters Cup that year. Then we go to Wimbledon in 2002, taking on Nalbandian. Hewitt able to win on the grass at Wimbledon with that tough baseline game in 2002. He won the Tennis Masters Cup again and finished #1 in the world. So that was pretty impressive stuff, of course, from a guy that young. As I mentioned earlier, a tough year for him last year, but he did help Australia win the Davis Cup, and now he's back. I mean, playing the type of tennis that he can play. The series tied is at 7-all, but that's not really realistic, because this year it's been all Roger Federer. He's won 5 times against Hewitt, including, of course, in 3 majors and including once this week already.
So now to this championship match, because this is the one that really counts as far as these 2 guys are concerned. Let's face it, here they are talking about today's matchup against each other.
Roger's extremely confident at the moment, so more, I just got to go out there and play my game. And I think we had some great tennis the other night, but obviously I was on the downside of some of it. So I've just got to go out there, play my game, work extremely hard, and try and take it to him as much as possible.
It's good, I played him in the round robin already, so I get a feel for how he's playing. And after the US Open, I had to get the 6-love, 7-6, 6-love out of my mind as well, because that was just too much to ask for. And now I beat him 3-4. It was a tough match. Now this is what I'm expecting again, a tough match, where he's going to give it all he has and make me work very hard to win. And it's going to be best of 5 as well tomorrow, not anymore best of 3. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to react, especially because I'm playing well. I'm confident. I've beaten him this whole year, and he has to change up something in his game, and we'll see what it's going to be tomorrow.
This was supposed to have started at 3:30 local time this afternoon. It's now after 6 o'clock, 20 after 6 here in the evening. It was going to be a best of 5 set championship match. Because of the weather, it is now going to be reduced to best 2 out of 3. Patrick, what does Lleyton Hewitt have to do to win?
Well, I'll tell you, he's got to somehow find a way to put some pressure on Federer. The problem for Hewitt is that just matchup-wise, he's a great counterpuncher, but so is Federer, and so really it negates a lot of the strengths of Lleyton Hewitt, Federer's game. So he's going to have to hope that he can jump on Federer. Maybe Roger, he just warmed up about 15-20 minutes ago. Maybe that could get Hewitt a quick lead and get on top, because every time he's played Federer, he's gotten down quickly, and Federer is a great front runner. So I think the key for Hewitt is to try to get off quickly, maybe take some chances early on and try to get a little bit of a lead.
Again, they've been at it all year, folks, and this is the championship match. We're down to 2.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the ATP Tennis Masters Cup Houston is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com, and America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
As you said, Patrick will be heading toward Spain here just after Thanksgiving, where the weather, we hope, will be better than it has been this week. 67 degrees at the moment, some wind, and the continuing overcast skies. That's been true of basically this entire week.
I like that overcast. That's nice, sort of optimistic.
December 3, 4, and 5 for that Davis Cup final. Federer has had an extraordinary year by any definition.
Really has been amazing. And last year he won this event right here in Houston undefeated when he went 5-0. And there's a lot of stuff on this, but we think it's worthwhile because there's so much good stuff. 10 titles. Look at the match record, 73-6. 3 slam titles, most since Wielander. Time Wielander in 88. 17-0 versus top 10 players. 22-0 if you include this event last year, and undefeated in finals this year. And a 23-match win streak. The last match he lost was at the Olympics in Athens to Thomas Berdych, a talented youngster from the Czech Republic.
Beat Gaudio, beat Hewitt, beat Moya, and in the semis he took out Safin. Lleyton Hewitt from Adelaide, Australia. He's won that tournament a few times, and he was the youngest world's #1 from Australia ever. He won this Masters Cup title twice, back-to-back, in fact, in China and at home in Sydney.
What a start already from Federer. Second serve ace. Here's Hewitt's results. The big win was that one over Moya, because I think those were the two guys in the hunt in that group. He lost to Federer. He beat Gaudio easily and then just drilled Andy Roddick yesterday. He was pumped yesterday, Hewitt. He wanted to send a message, and he did.
Seven is the head-to-head, these two. But as you said in the Open, 5 of the last 5 all going to Roger, including 3 slams this year.
That's right. And including 5 6-love sets for Roger Federer. over the course of this year. Look at this, Australian Open. He took him out in 4. Hamburg on the clay. Federer went on to win that tournament. Wimbledon.
Went on to win that tournament.
Went on to win this tournament. Pretty much every one. It really has been something to see.
Well, it also says that if Lleyton Hewitt hadn't have bumped up against Roger Federer, who knows how much better he could have done.
Well, one of the reasons I think why Hewitt is so pumped to try to get to that #2 spot, because look, if he can avoid Roger Federer for as long as possible in the majors, and if he could be #2, obviously he wouldn't play him until the final. He won't admit that. He won't talk about that, but you have to think that that's something he's considering.
Love 18.
Roger Rashid is both his coach and his mate from Australia.
Actually played doubles together in one of the tour events. I believe it was in Rotterdam this year, and I think they won a round or two. So difficult, this matchup for Hewitt, because he doesn't have that much power off the ground. And there are Hewitt's parents there. And therefore, it just seems like Federer can do to him what he wants in these baseline rallies, where someone like Safin or Roddick can bother Federer a little bit off the ground. They hit the ball so hard. That's why I think, Cliff, it's important for Lleyton Hewitt not to go for winners, but to try to hit the ball a little bit harder in the rallies. Try to get the ball through the court a little more. Andre Agassi was able to do that at the U.S. Open. And, of course, Agassi is more capable of Hewitt than Hewitt, of hitting harder. But he elevated the pace of his ground strokes just to stay with Federer at the U.S. Open. He took him to 5 sets there. I started thinking in the middle of that rally, Cliff, that maybe Hewitt should try hitting the ball straight down the middle in some rallies. Because see what happens when he opens the court up. He's just giving Federer angles, and he's giving him much to work with. And because he doesn't hit the ball that hard, he's immediately getting himself on the defensive.
Great point. And a second serve after a foot fault. See whether he tries some of that.
Cheers.
Put down the middle, play that one. Not enough?
A little bit, no. I mean, obviously it's risky. I mean, I'm trying to come up with something that Hewitt could try differently. As Federer said, you see the replay of shot spot wide there. As Federer said, look, he's the one that has to do something different.
Last time they played, finally, the U.S. Open, at least before Tennis Masters Cup here in Houston. Finally a mishit from Federer, and it's a game point here for Lleyton Hewitt. Last time they played in that Grand Slam final at the US Open, won in straight sets by Federer, and he says, look, that was not, he's got that sort of self-effacing European thing about him. He's a very nice gentleman, Federer, and he says, you know, tough for that same thing to happen again.
Great return from Federer. First serve was right on the line from Lleyton Hewitt. Couldn't have placed it better, but Federer not only able to get it back, but get some mustard on it. A little flick of the wrist.
Advantage, Federer.
The other players on this tour have got so much respect for Roger Federer, and that in and of itself is worth a lot of points per set. I'm going to say a point a game. That might be a little extreme.
Little much, but I think a couple points is set, which could be a break. That's trouble. Yep. I mean, that's what part of the versatility of Federer that no other player has. This ability to chip this return and basically invite Hewitt in because he knows he's going to get something to work with on the pass.
Could you just let the point finish before you say it's over, please?
Oh, boy.
You could tell, couldn't you? I mean, he comes in.
Yeah, you knew it was over.
Yeah. All right, 2 to Federer.
15 love.
So Lynette, that's Roger Federer's mom.
30 love.
She's from South Africa, and she met her Swiss husband in South Africa when he was there with the pharmaceutical company. She was also in the pharmaceutical business. He was born in Switzerland, but like South Africa, he's got a place out there and spends vacation time there.
And mix up from Federer, serving into the body of Hewitt. Controlling that volley beautifully with the hands.
So Roger Federer has made it look pretty easy, relatively speaking. It helps Federer to have the admiration of his fellow players, and he does.
He can be one of the best of all times. The way he plays, it's very easy for him, and it makes tennis, it makes other people look bad.
He gets you in those long rallies. There's so many times when he's stretched and he's able to just get one more ball because he's such a good athlete. He moves so well, and it seems like he's never out of position.
You see him playing, or when you're watching on TV. I mean, it's so easy. It looks so easy to play tennis, but then when you are on court, it's not that easy. A lot's about playing momentum against Roger, and he's such a good player that there's only really 1 or 2 points in the match, and you have to be able to get those.
He's an extraordinary tennis player. I mean, he achieved unbelievable at the age of 23.
Federer's the man to beat. He's won pretty much everything that he's played this year, and you know, he's been the best player in the world by a stretch.
I think he's able to play at the same level as he did this year, which is not going to be easy. He's going to be there for a long time. I can't see anybody better than him in a 1-year period. I played Sampras 2 times, and he was at his best, Agassi. But I think he's even better than him.
Some Swiss fans here. Yeah, I have the feeling that the Swiss are really demonstrative people, but they love Roger Federer, don't they?
Anybody who loves tennis loves this guy, because I hope people appreciate what they're seeing. in this man, because I mean, he's really doing something that is so rare in sports.
15 love.
Not just his dominance, but the way he's doing it, the style he has, and the sportsmanship, and just the person that he is as well, but his style of play.
Let's. Second service.
Mom told me that he wants to give back. He understands just how much tennis has done for him, what it's made him. And he's ready to contribute.
Roger Rashid is trying to charge up his guy. Look at this, one of just 3 players to win 12 straight finals. It's Borg and my brother John McEnroe been able to do that. I think where Federer has even the edge on those guys, I know it's early in his career though, is in his versatility on the surfaces. Australian Open, he dominated on a very slow hard court. Of course, Wimbledon on the grass. He's won on the fast hard courts. Indoors, he's won big titles on clay, not the French Open yet, but he's won Master Series events. This year he won in Hamburg on the clay.
40-15.
Game point for Hewitt to get on the board.
40-30.
Second double fault for the Australian.
Glenn and Sherilyn, Hewitt's parents. Sherilyn, a netball player, and Glenn, an Australian rules footies player. Gain to Hewitt.
So Hewitt's on the board, 3 games to 1 for Federer. Well, depending on how long this match takes, and we could be just checking out this NFL football tonight. Just down the road from us, the Packers take on the Houston Texans. And both teams need a win to stay in the hunt. The game starts 8:30 p.m. Eastern. NFL primetime begins at 7:30 Eastern. So you can go back and forth between a little primetime and a little showtime with Mr. Federer. Packers Texans, also available in high def on ESPN HD.
A lot of options for Federer, not that many are there, Patrick, as you take a look at Mirka, who's Roger Federer's girlfriend. They're heading to the Maldives as soon as this is over. In fact, they're heading there tomorrow. She said 30 hours in the plane.
Oh, you better not give him something extra to hit.
Little R&R for the two of them at Maldives in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Sri Lanka.
Well, Hewitt should have put this away, and Federer on the run is so dangerous. So he flicks this cross court. Federer also, excuse me, Cliff, apparently going to head down to Australia early to sort of acclimate himself and train down there. And you know, that's what is so impressive about Federer too, is his professionalism. And you know, he was here in Houston a full week before the event, Monday before, getting himself ready. I mean, here's a guy who's locked up #1, who's won everything this year.
Yeah, he showed he was serious about this title.
It's amazing.
In point, Federer. it look pretty easy. Roger Federer in front here, 4-1. Hewitt will serve. He's down 1 break here in the first set against the Tennis Masters Cup final. Federer with 1 break. This is Lleyton Hewitt. I was going to say in that game, the last game that we just played, that the options there. We're thankful for Roger.
Yeah, so are we. Not sure about the rest of the players, but
I'm going to say the options are limited for him, Patrick, because he's not going to be able to say Lleyton Hewitt's not going to be able to. You've seen him try to come into the net a couple of times, and that does not seem to be an option.
well, that's where, you know, this is such a hard matchup for Hewitt, because he doesn't have the power to try to take some risk and rush Federer the way we saw Safin do yesterday, you know, with that big return and that big serve. You know, tennis is such a sport that's about matchups. That's why Hewitt does well against the big hitters like Safin and like Roddick, because he's so quick and he counterpunches well. And Federer has been utterly dominant so far. Obviously, Federer has dominated the field this year, but particularly, you know, with how good Hewitt has played and what a good year he's had, it's pretty remarkable the dominance that he's had head-to-head. You know, when you look at the score lines of their matches. That's what Hewitt needs to do there. I mean, get some cheap points with that serve. Go for a little bit more. I mean, that's the right idea from Hewitt, but just a terrible volley.
I was with Glenn and Cheryl in the workout room this morning, the mother and father of Lleyton, and I said, geez, he played a great match, you know, in the semi-final. They said, yeah, but didn't get a serve wasn't as good as normal, and that did hurt him. It's hurt him here so far. It was against Roddick. Still didn't lose his serve. Missed it. Good hustle there from Hewitt to get to that lob.
Yeah, because Federer again hit that low ball there on the defensive and then a great offensive lob. He's not going to miss this one too often. See that racket coming across the bodies we've talked about this week, his incredible acceleration he gets and the control with that forehand swing.
Hewitt.
Struggled to get there, but Hewitt has got game point.
Game Hewitt.
4-2 first set.
Yeah, the crowd itching to keep Hewitt around in this one. Great scrambling from the Aussie
Federer leads 4 games
to get out of that game. Again, Federer making him run side to side when they get into those rallies. That's a shot that's really become more of a weapon for Federer in the last 12, 15 months. That backhand down the line. He's hitting through that ball a lot more than he used to, as he continues to add stuff to his arsenal.
Federer has won the last couple of Wimbledons. He also beat Pete Sampras at Wimbledon in 01. And it's sort of interesting because he was such a fan of Pete Sampras's, of the three players. He said he was a huge fan of that single-handed backhand.
40-11.
But he said that he used to be a madman as a kid, was throwing rackets everywhere.
Hard to believe.
But then he said, you know, against a guy like Sampras at Wimbledon, you can't behave badly. And he's like an idol, an icon. Game point.
Oh, great stab volley. I mean, Hewitt can volley. He's got good technique up there. He has to come up with a remarkable stretch here.
Stab, drop volley. He's decided that he's got to try to come into the net some people.
He has to, and that's just a beautiful eye dropper. He really does, Cliff. He's got to do this. He has to force himself to take some chances. But if he stays back against Federer, it's just target practice. What a pickup. Oh, that's scary.
Those half-volley ground strokes from the back of the court from Federer.
Unbelievable.
Really unique. 5-2 Federer. Hewitt to serve first set. Lleyton Hewitt a 2-5 first set. Trying to hang on to this. Trying to hang on to this set. One break only.
Seems like more, though, doesn't it?
Yep. Well, he's been in danger a little more than that.
15-11.
Even if he didn't serve well in that semi-final, he didn't lose his serve. Andy. 15-love.
Goodness.
After former President Bush, one of the most famous people in all of Houston,
15-all.
as you look at this again, is Mattress Mac, they call him. That's how he's known. His name is Jim McInvale. He owns this Westside Tennis Club, and he's the promoter of this event.
Another beautiful backhand up the line from Federer. Good reply from Hewitt.
30-15.
Good first serve, sets up the short ball just inside the sideline.
Jim McInvale, him just a minute ago, and he puts on that's this peaceofmind.com that he's promoting with that That's to help mentally challenged folks around the world.
Let's proceed.
Well, he's been raving about this man, Roger Federer, too, and not just his play, but he said this guy's done everything we could have possibly asked him to do this week. And, of course, this was after some controversy last year that Mr. McInville brought on himself by visibly cheering for the American guys to get through. As you see more of the genius there from Roger Federer.
40-30.
Max made an effort to
men fences.
Yeah, in men fences, and he certainly has with Roger. Oh, we got some rain coming now.
Umbrellas up, please. Quickly.
Oh, that's too bad.
Get umbrellas up and get the ball.
That's set point, excuse me, game point for Hewitt. Lars Graf, the chair umpire. Coming
Can I have
down
my
pretty
walkie
good now.
quickly?
Match was supposed to have started here local time 3:30 this afternoon. It rained basically all morning, and the first break in the clouds just before we started our live coverage here at about 6 o'clock local time. But now Roger Federer and Lleyton Hewitt will leave this court, and we are hoping that we'll see more live tennis tonight. But the weather forecast is not great. 5-2 for Roger Federer in the first set. Hewitt serving. Rain delay. We'll be back after this from Houston. Mid stages of the warm-up here for this championship match. The winner, if it's Roger Federer, will take home $1.5+ million. If Lleyton Hewitt wins this match, he'll take home 1.5 less the 120,000 that he lost to Federer in the round-robin competition here. Either way, it's a pretty good payday for these guys. Federer's been very successful in the Masters events this year on different surfaces.
That's right. We'll start out at Indian Wells after Federer had won the Australian Open, taking on Tim Henman. Beautiful flick passing shot there. And Henman was a guy that had given Federer trouble up until that point. Then we went to Hamburg on the clay. And he'd beaten Gaudio, he'd beaten Moya, he'd beaten Hewitt, and then he took out Guillermo Coria in the best-of-5 set final there in 4 sets. Then against Andy Roddick. Federer at the bottom of your screen here. And Roddick playing on his favorite surface, the hard court summer swing. But Federer had the answer. It's a tough first set when Federer won it in straight sets.
So Federer wins at Indian Wells, Hamburg and Toronto, as we just showed you. Andy Roddick won in Miami. Coria on the clay, Moya on the clay, and Andre Agassi, sensational summer again as he wins in Cincinnati. Safin won the last 2 and played extremely well here. Very, very good semi-final with Roger Federer.
Certainly bodes well for Safin, I think, for 2005, Cliff. You know, he started the year ranked outside. I think it was in the 80s he was ranked, and he went to the Australian Open final, and then finishing up very strong here at the end of the year. So it should be a factor next year in the majors.
Check in on this AOL between the lines, Patrick.
Well, Federer had been playing so well all week, all year, and starting out the same way in this opening set against Lleyton Hewitt. Federer with the serve volley play was working for him. He got the early break against the Hewitt serve, and he's just able to counter what Hewitt does. And this one, Hewitt left the volley hanging for Federer. He's able to counter what Hewitt has and then come up with stuff like this. Just improvise. Look at that little flick passing shot after the short ball drew Hewitt to the net. And beautifully struck backhand down the line, doing it from all parts of the court. That's our AOL between the lines. Look at that, the winner department. I mean, 14-5. Net points. Federer not coming in that much. He doesn't really feel like he has to come in a lot against Hewitt because he can dictate play from the back of the court and hit winners pretty often from that position. Hewitt, on the other hand, you see, has been in 11 times. And I think that's something he has to continue to force himself to do to have any chance to turn this around.
Got to make very sure that when he comes in behind a very good approach shot, or otherwise he's going to come second best even with that strategy. 40-30 for Lleyton Hewitt in this game at 5-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the suspended match will continue. Federer leads 5 games to 2. Lleyton Hewitt to serve, 40-30.
No break chances for Lleyton Hewitt yet.
Ready, play.
40-30.
A lot of credit to the staff at this tournament for being able to get this court dry so quickly, get the players back out on the court. And also to the fans of Houston, who really had to put up with a lot this week with the weather, and pretty darn good crowd still around after waiting it out all day.
The Houstonians all stayed, Patrick, but there were quite a few people from Austin and San Antonio and surroundings who this morning just said, you know what, that's it. We're out of here, because the forecast was for rain all day. Federer serving for the first set.
Break for Hewitt here as this ball catches the tape. Gives him plenty of time to run that down.
One of these two would win a 25-yard dash, Pete. They're both pretty quick off the mark.
Hewitt might win a 10-yard dash, but I don't know about once they get going. I think Federer might win the 25.
15-0.
Two of the quickest in the business. So that's where the fear factor of the Federer forehand comes into play, because Federer dipped that backhand cross court. He already had started to move to look to run around and hit a forehand. Hewitt saw that and tried to play a low percentage shot up the line and missed it. Oh, that's just unreal.
How quickly does he jump on that first ball that he makes the approach behind?
Well, not only that, as his girlfriend Mirka looks on as he gets to set point, but covering that ball as Hewitt played a phenomenal passing shot. But Federer was there.
First set,
Federer holds on to serve, and that gets him the first set in this World Championship match. It's the Tennis Masters Cup final, and it's being hosted by Space City, USA. We're in Houston, Texas. Stay with us. We're live. It's about 8:20 local time now, and it's amazing how many of these fans have stayed. We've mentioned that before. It really, this match was supposed to take place this afternoon at 3:30 local time, and they are still here, hanging on every swing. Best of 3 sets now. The original deal was going to be a best of 5 set championship match, but because of the inclement weather, it's best of 3. First point, second set, first set, Federer.
Left, second service. Love your team.
He had broken in his opening service game of the match. Roger Rashid there, Hewitt's coach, been with him for about a year and a half now. Done a great job getting Hewitt back to the top, or close to the top. In fact, he'd be number 2 if he were to win this match. If not, Andy Roddick will finish the year as the number 2 player behind Federer.
Love 30. Pressure is on Hewitt.
A Terrible start back here for Hewitt, down love 40. Finished #1 for 2 years running. Not too many players have done that. They've all been great ones. Then he dropped to 17 last year. Not playing as many tournaments, and not right now at #3. Lost a lot of confidence last year, Hewitt, despite finishing the year helping Australia win the Davis Cup, which was his big focus at the end of the year. And boy, he's gotten it back this year with just a very, very solid year.
Left for service.
Federer not sure about that serve. It did look to be a little bit long. We're sitting up here pretty high, and it was long, according to Shot Spot. Remember, Federer got a terrible call against him on match point yesterday against Safin in that incredible tiebreak. Went to 20-18, and I think it was about an 11-10. And Federer got a call against him, but didn't question it, didn't argue, moved on. And that ball looked to be on the line too. Again, no argument. No, well, that one did catch the line. 2 in a row against Federer. Both on break points.
Deuce.
Advantage, Hewitt.
Lleyton Hewitt didn't have a great year last year, as you really pointed out, Patrick. This year has been a heck of a lot better for him. He's won the first game and the second. Here he is talking about the difference.
No, this year's been great. Yeah, I think it's probably been as consistent a year as I've ever had, even when I was at the top of the game. And yeah, I think I've just played extremely well on all surfaces, obviously, and yeah, I've been out there and played a lot of tournaments this year, and obviously that's one reason why my ranking dropped last year. You know, my concentration more on Davis Cup than on my own ATP Tour ranking, I guess. So, yeah, to bounce back from there, I just felt fresher this year, and yeah, I think this has been as good a year as I've probably ever had.
15 up.
You mentioned #1 in the world for 2 years running, Hewitt, and he won the Masters Cup both in Shanghai and in Sydney. 15 love Federer, 1 game to Hewitt, 1 set Federer. I don't think Hewitt's coming in this set, Patrick. I think he's decided to stay back.
Maybe. I mean, he hit the ball with a little more vigor during that rally, and that's, again, he has to up the ante in these backcourt rallies. He can't just massage the ball around and counter. Maybe that was something he discussed with Roger Rashid during the break. You put a little more oomph off the ground. Yeah, that's good hitting there from Hewitt. What a huge break with those 2 calls going his way in that previous game to help him get out of a jam on his serve, and now he's got a little opening.
30 all.
See, Federer responds by going for the early strike in a point.
A little off-speed serve from Federer there. 112 miles an hour. Mixes up his serve so well, Federer. Different spin, speeds, all with the same toss, same motion. There he goes a little bit bigger out wide.
Even in the second, it won a piece.
120 that last serve. Both players 23. A couple more titles for Hewitt. Federer though with 4 slams. Weeks at #1. Hewitt 80 weeks. He dominated in 2001 and 2002. Hewitt was just more mature, not only mentally but with his game, early in his career. And now Federer's found the full package. Oh, yes.
I was going to say, Patrick, that the Europeans mature later in general, and then I thought Becker at 17.
Right,
Wielander at the French. So scratch that. 15. It's not unique, but the way that Roger Federer half volleys from virtually the baseline is just astounding to me. Agassi's got that capability as well,
right?
But it's a special facility.
Federer can do it on the run as well. Oh, look at the stuff he comes up with. Not intimidated at all by Hewitt's speed. He sees he's got Hewitt outside. He's not expecting this at all, Lleyton. Look how slow he gets off the mark. Normally, he's so quick to react. He just couldn't believe that Federer played this shot. Look at all the spin on that. Just dies. Carving. Cutting.
Patrick, you say slow to get off the mark, give the guy a break. Was that backhand side of Federer can be hit hard down the line,
I know.
Hard cross court, slice down the line. You never know what's coming.
He could float it, just float it deep and let it linger there for a while.
30.
40, 30.
Parents of Lleyton's, Glenn and Sherilyn. They travel with him a lot during the year. So Hewitt holds. A little struggle in that game, but is in front 2 games to 1. Federer to serve, and we come back live to Houston. Oh, nice angle from Hewitt, love 15 in this game with Federer serving trailing 1-2 in the second. He won the first 6-3.
Love 15.
Trying to go back behind Hewitt, but Federer doesn't get all this one, and Hewitt with a beautiful dipper.
Roger Federer won it last year. Hewitt the 2 years before that. An extraordinary win by Guga Kirten of Brazil in 2000 that got him to #1 in the world. Pete's won it a few times. Five in all.
Game, Federer.
Federer holds, even in the second to a piece.
Well, it's that time of year coming up. ESPN2's coverage of the college basketball feast week continues as 12th ranked Duke Blue Devils take on the Davidson Wildcats. And then in the EA Sports Maui Invitational, the BYU Cougars take on the Tar Heels of North Carolina, try to bounce back from their loss Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern. First game at 7, second at 9 on ESPN2. Had our buddy Dickie Vitale out in LA at the part of the US Open Series.
That was different, wasn't it?
His voice was not quite what the tennis fans were used to, the volume level. But he knew his tennis. Fun having him up there, big tennis fan.
Moving in that point there from Federer, he moves with such ease and grace, Patrick. One of the challenges for top player in this day and age is just staying healthy. Is that going to keep his muscles and bones in good shape?
Well, he does a lot of fitness stuff. He's got his fitness trainer here with him. Travels with him throughout most of this year, because we always talk about that he doesn't have a coach. But he does have his trainer with him most of the time.
Got it.
Beautiful backhand from Hewitt. He's been on since the rain delay, since they came back. He's really been going for his shots from the back of the court when he gets them. Lines up the two-hander for the clean winner up the line. Well, I think Federer will be able to keep himself in pretty good shape, Cliff. Here's his trainer, Pavel Kovac, who's on the road with him most of the year. And, you know, because Federer, yes, he moves well, and but he's not on the defensive that often. you know, and he's so smooth in the way he plays. There's no excessive pounding or nothing he does seems extreme in the way he hits the ball. Also got a very good build. I mean, it's 6 foot, about 6'1", between 6'1" and 6'2". Not too tall. Certainly taking care of his physique is with all the amount of matches that he plays. Again, I mean, to see how quickly he can finish a lot of points off when he wants to. And he's elevating his game now, Federer.
30-14. Break point.
Excuse me, Cliff. Hewitt's played well since they've come back, but Federer stepping it up.
Hewitt also has only come in once this set. I mean, a lot in the first set didn't work for him, so he's changed strategy. Break point.
Game Federer.
That netted backhand gets Federer first blood in the second set. He's got 3-2. We're live in Houston. Federer to serve when we come back. Federer winning the first set 6-3. Now he's got the breaker serve in the second, so he's serving at 3-2. This is the Tennis Masters Cup championship match.
Normally, Cliff, I'd say too ambitious a shot, but with Federer, you know, it's okay. Well, he missed it, but he pulls that type of shot off pretty consistently.
Good
ball of Federer when it comes off the court from the forehand has so much jump on it when it comes off the court. See that right there, that exact shot when he really puts that extra spin on it with the racket speed. When you get to that ball, when you're running that ball down, it's still tailing away from you. And that makes it that much tougher to get it back in the court. A ball that's flat, that's a same shot, Hewitt will be able to get it back.
40-15.
Game point to Federer.
Game Federer.
That's beautiful.
Federer
leads 4-2.
Book in tennis as he comes in here and he just slides. This one keeps that racket head up. It's the way they tell you to do it.
And even when he's dominating, Cliff, with the serve and the forehand, he still has the presence to, well, let me mix in a little serve and volley just to keep my opponent honest, just to keep him guessing.
Look at that shot. Now that one.
This is sick.
That's on the run. There's Mom. Lynette, watch this.
Look at this shot. I mean, the balance and the strength and the forearm and wrist.
Federer's Mom, by the way.
Yeah.
Tell the Federer story quickly. Mom from South Africa, dad's first met both in the pharmaceutical business, met in South Africa, and then he was born in Switzerland, played until he was 14, left home, went to the French part of Switzerland, learned to speak French, and go to the tennis academy of Switzerland. Left school at 16, took a little bit of a risk, he said, but and Mom said, you know, if it doesn't work out for you, you're going to go back to school. Well, it did work out for him.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Say so. 15-30.
15-40.
Hewitt just feeling the pressure of the Federer arsenal. And this thing could be over in a hurry now. Federer with a chance for a second break.
Let's proceed.
That stays on Hewitt's side. Federer gets the insurance break. He's got 5-2.
Federer leads 5 games.
By the way, he'll take home over 1.5 million if he wins the next game for this week. Among his other achievements, Roger Federer has never lost a match on this court. He won the Tennis Masters Cup last year, winning all of his round-robin matches in the semi and the final, and he's in a position to do the same thing if he wins this game.
Has not lost a final this year. Federer, and going for his 13th straight, going back to this event last year. He beat Andre Agassi in the final of this event last year in another dominant performance.
Federer says I can play spin, slice, come to the net, play all over, but I mean that can also be a disadvantage. Some people don't understand that. As Mark Miles there is the ATP Tour chief. He says, because I believe that Hewitt has great fitness and mental toughness, which is also a strength, but just in different kind of strength.
30-15.
Has been Federer's genius that has dominated this match. Mirka is Roger's girlfriend. Mentioned earlier they're going to the Maldives tomorrow. There's an island in the Indian Ocean of Sri Lanka.
I think it's a fairly well-deserved vacation for Mr. Federer, and about to put a cherry on top of the single greatest year in the open era of men's tennis for one player that I've seen. Absolute domination, start to finish. And a fitting way to end it all.
Roger Federer. Federer wins by 2 sets to love. 6-3, 6-2.
And Patrick, he wanted this title. He was here a week early. He paid his dues. He's a true professional, and as you said, and that's high praise coming from you because you've seen a lot of outstanding players, as Roger Federer easily wins this year-ending championship, the Tennis Masters Cup.
Well, you played against the great Rod Laver, Cliff, and you said this is the greatest player you've ever seen. So talk about high praise coming from you, but I'll tell you, it gives me a lot to look forward to for the next how many years to watch this man on a tennis court. It's unbelievable the kind of stuff that he comes up with day after day. It really is.
Well, you talk about Lleyton. We used to go watch him play. You know, now these guys, they come out to watch Federer play. He's that good. How good? 3 slams, and for the 2nd straight year, Tennis Masters Cup champion. We'll talk to him when we come back. Roger Federer over Lleyton Hewitt, 6-3, 6-2. He made it look easy. He's at courtside now. Well, explain it, Rog. What's going on this year?
Oh, you know, I don't know. I'm coming here, you know, not so well prepared, let's say, because I was injured and everything. And now I'm standing here as the winner 5 matches later, and it's just very difficult to believe what just happened, because this is just unbelievable. I've never, ever thought of something like this.
You know, Roger, I don't want to bug you with this question, but it's been such a great year, but I just have to think a little bit about next year and looking ahead, and what your goals are and what your thoughts are just going into the following year, and what you expect out of yourself. What do you want to accomplish next year?
Well, I've set for next year, really, my main focus is to stay #1 in the world and try to defend my Wimbledon crown. You know, people are saying that I could win 4 majors in a year. You know, if I keep on playing like this, you know, you might think it's possible, but I feel that's very difficult to do. So I've really put myself these 2, I think, also very high goals, and you know, I just have to try to keep on playing this way.
Roger, congratulations. A tremendous year. Ending up here in Houston. Live coverage of this championship
match. Have a nice vacation, Roger. You earned it.
Got 1.5 plus a few dollars.
Yeah, that'll do, okay.
So Federer is the champion of tennis in men's tennis for this year. 3 slams and 2 Masters Cups here in Houston. We'll be back after this.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the ATP Tennis Masters Cup Houston is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com, and America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
Well, the dominance of Roger Federer emphasized here at this year-ending championship in Houston, the Tennis Masters Cup. He takes down Lleyton Hewitt, who beat Andy Roddick yesterday in the semifinal. He takes him down easily.
Well, a year we'll be talking about for a long time, Cliff. The type of domination from Roger Federer. I don't know if we'll see it again, but certainly going to be a lot of fun to see what he's got in store for the tennis world in 2005.
Again, Roger Federer, the champion here today over Lleyton Hewitt of Australia. You're warmly invited to join us for another huge tennis event. This will be it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I won't be with you, Cliff, so
well, you'll be there.
I'll be there, and it's been another great year with you, Cliffy. Thank you for everything, and our whole crew at ESPN and everybody for showing this much tennis. A Davis Cup final. I'll be sitting on the sideline for this one, and our boys will be pumped up and ready to go. So we'll have some fun over there, and we'll see you down in Australia, Cliffy, and everybody on our crew.
Well, we'll be looking for you in Spain, too.
I'll be there. You'll be fine. You'll find me.
We want to win, too, there, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be December 3, 4, and 5. We'll start at December 3 at 12 Eastern, Davis Cup final. Our captain, P-Mac, taking on Carlos Moya and the Spaniards. This has been a presentation of ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. For more, please log on to ESPN.com. We are your Grand Slam network. Coming up next on ESPN, it's World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. With Patrick McEnroe, I'm Cliff Drysdale. So long from Houston, everyone. We will be talking at you from Spain, December 3, 4, and 5. Roger Federer, world champion for this year.